Hi, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Embrace the Madness, a podcast where we talk about suffering, figure out how we're going to accept it, and move forward so we can create an awesome life and live life to the fullest. This is Madeline, your host, and so this week's going to be a little bit different just because I was going to talk about loving your whole self, and I just had this humongous experience and I just wanted to share it with everybody. And I feel like I've learned a lot about myself through this experience. And yes, so next week we'll just get back on schedule. We'll get into self-care. I mean, I feel like this episode still has something to do with self-care and we'll get into it. But it's just like not what I was planning. But I guess that's what we're learning is things don't always go according to plan. Good. Anyways, so last week we did talk about kind of self-care. I did a little bit of my relationship background, very vaguely though. Last week I was talking about how I was playing my first DJ show. And I played it on Saturday. And I've had a couple of days to integrate the experience and try to understand it and process it and just, I'm sure everyone understands, like, now that these, like, last couple weeks are over, Christmas is over, the holidays are over, we can kind of just get back in our groove. And so this whole past month, I've just been in this weird cloudy fog because I just moved in to a new place. My stuff's still not unpacked, and that's stressful in itself. I had to get ready for Christmas and all the stuff that entails. And I found out that I was going to be playing my first show. And so I'm even just like, what? All of that energy combined was just like freaking me out. It was just, I was attaching any sort of negative energy and just, like focusing in with a microscope. And I was just using it as an excuse to just freak out about everything. And so the show went really well, surprisingly. I mean, we're like our own worst critics, but I'm not really sure what I thought was going to happen. I just was really nervous. As anyone would for like their first thing. But I guess I just better just start at the very beginning of this whole entire story because as you can see, I'm still not fully integrating and my mind's still all over the place, but I think it's a good thing. So let's rewind to I guess maybe last year. I was getting into like the music and stuff, and so I had started going to shows. Maybe it was like, I don't know, within the last couple of years. I was going out to shows more, really just enjoying the fact that Memphis had a scene for the music that I enjoyed. And so my friends, I got to know my friends who put on these bass shows in Memphis. And I just loved what they were doing, just local people doing their thing, playing music. And I got to know them and would just go to all the shows every month. And it was such a liberating experience going by myself and just really vibing with the music, dancing, just kind of just letting go of what was going on around me, whatever bullshit was in my life at the time. And that was just such a cool feeling. And with each, I guess, experience that I had, I was just getting more confident and my self-esteem was getting better. And I kind of related that liberating experience, whatever, the fact of just like letting go and enjoying myself and dancing and not even caring how bad it was. I just kind of like correlated those two. And I mean, as you can imagine, over the course of a year, that would get exponentially higher. And so I totally attribute a lot of my personal growth to like going to these, and that's so exciting. And so I was like, well, I wonder what's stopping me from being able to do that. Like, it looks so cool. They look like they're having so much fun playing like the music that you love. And I was like, what is stopping me from doing this myself? And just kind of like, thinking in my head. So I guess like over time, I was like, well, shit, I want to do this. And so I was like, okay, you want to do this, let's do it. And I think I talked about it last week. A lot of my realizations this past year was I need to take care of myself. And part of taking care of ourselves is incorporating discipline and stuff in your life, which I was never taught any of that. And so I'm having to kind of navigate this journey and trial and error and stuff. But I was like, okay, well, if you are serious about this discipline thing, then why don't you use this as an opportunity to test it? And so I was like, okay, well, normally I give up when things get hard. So I'm going to set the intention that I'm not going to give up. So I guess this was like last summer, something like that. I don't really remember exactly when. I was like, okay, well, if I want to begin this whole journey into music and creating and playing and stuff, I need to do these things. So I kind of broke it down into steps, kind of like how we were talking about a few episodes ago, just about taking really overwhelming big things and breaking them down into more manageable steps. And so that's what I did. I was like, okay, well, I need to learn this, this, and this. I need to get this. I need to do these things, and just doing that. Going back to that moment that I was standing there thinking like, what's stopping me? Well, I think I had this moment where my higher self was like, you're the only one that can stop you from achieving this. And so I think that's kind of where this fits into the whole self-care type situation, in addition to the discipline, is learning how to stop your self-sabotaging behaviors. And I've talked a little bit about that, and I've written a blog post about it, but it's just something huge that works behind the scenes, and we have no idea, like, that it's even happening. And we're like, why are we unhappy? Oh, I keep doing this to myself. So I made the intention that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to set this goal. And part of the goals that I set were, well, I'm going to play a show before the end of the year. And this is kind of when I was getting into manifestation and law of attraction and stuff like that. And I think this was right before we went to Bali. But I set that as a goal, and I was like, okay, well, here we go. Here's a journey. And so part of the law of attraction is just, well, I guess it's more of into the manifestation. But the manifestation is, you don't only have to like consciously think about these things, but you also have to take action to create this. But what helps is the fact that it's in your consciousness. So focusing your energy on the things you want and the things you desire. And by keeping these in your consciousness, you will naturally take the actions needed to manifest your reality. And so creating this goal helped me to keep this in my consciousness, and breaking down the little steps helped keep it all in my awareness. So I got a controller, I think in August. So I was really able to just start learning how to do all the knobs and just really focusing in on specifics, watched a bunch of videos, woke up every day and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. So then I found out that I was going to be able to play in December. And I was like, holy shit. Everything that I've done leading up to this point has paid off. And this goal that I set a few months ago is a reality. And really, I'm trying to think of the words, and I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't believe that I had set a goal and it was about to happen. And I mean, I hadn't played the show yet, but still, I was able to get that opportunity. And so, of course, naturally, when things like that happen, my unconscious self-sabotaging behavior starts just pumping anxiety, pumping cortisol. And I'm like, well, shit, what if I'm not ready? What if this sucks? What if I can't do it? Blah, 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 blah. And cue anxiety. And then we were like, okay, well, I have to move on the 13th, which was 2 weeks before the show was scheduled. And so I'm sitting here. I mean, the moving part wasn't hard because my friend Jordan, such a sweet angel, came to help. It's not like we were going far. We were literally just going upstairs. But just the idea of moving and all the things that have to happen and just making sure you're cleaning up after yourself. It's just a lot. And it's just a lot to go from not even thinking about it to oh shit, it's here. And so I had a lot of stress with that, but I think I was doing a good job at managing it. And then the holidays start coming up, and I kind of knew, okay, all these things are happening all at the same time. So you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with it, because it's you can't just cancel Christmas. You know what I mean? It has to happen. And I was already moving, and I knew it was a good thing so we could get in. It was just a situation where I just clung onto just that energy, that negative energy. And I had probably the biggest amount of anxiety I've ever had in my whole life. Even before I studied abroad, I don't know what the heck was happening. And I kept trying to think, okay, well, what are you freaking out about? Is it that you don't think you're ready? Is it that you think you're going to screw up? Is it you think you're going to suck? What is it? And it's yeah, everybody would have performance anxiety. Is it going to be good? Whatever. But I couldn't really pinpoint what it was. And I knew in the back of my head, you wake up every day and practice. So why wouldn't you, I don't know, just why wouldn't you be ready? I figured this was the only natural next step, is to take what you've been practicing and play for other people. Well, it just, none of those kind of just satisfied the question. Meanwhile, all my friends are like, holy shit, you're going to play a show. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear you. Everyone was being so supportive. And I'm like, well, if everybody else is supporting me, why am I not supporting myself? That's the weird thing. And I mean, I know, I've known myself my whole life. I know that that's kind of normal, that I'm going to minimize any amount of good things or success in my life. But really just realizing how excited other people were made me dive into that question of, well, why can't you be excited for you too? And this is where the self-sabotage comes in, because I realized that my whole entire life, I don't know, just succeeding and feeling good and being proud of myself just has never been a thing. And probably also too, because when things get really hard for me, I just give up. So just this idea that I had worked really hard and was about to have something happen, that was really weird to me too. And so I was like, well, maybe that's where this anxiety is coming from, because this opportunity and experience is going to force me to like just get over it, like get over myself, get over my ego. It's still going to happen. Like the show must go on, you know? But I realized that I think that this anxiety was just like having me freak out, because after Saturday, life was going to be different. Not like, life-changing, yes. Not like, oh yeah, you're going to be famous, whatever. But just this idea that you can succeed and you can do hard work and get good results and have people that support you and be proud of yourself. And I think that feeling was so new to me. It's like unlocking something with experience points. I just associated that anxiety with just like kind of me leveling up and actually taking steps to grow. And so I went back to the whole manifestation idea, and I realized that if I keep focusing on this negative energy and anxiety and how scared I was, that I was going to end up manifesting something like that. So I switched it, and I wrote down a bunch of affirmations and manifested just releasing these ideas of fear and self-criticism and judgment and stuff like that. And so I think that after I did that, my attitude kind of shifted. And it wasn't like a light switch, but it was kind of like a dimmer. So it was like, started out really small and then it got bigger. So it was like, I felt a little bit more at peace, and I was getting really excited for the show, which was like good because I really hadn't focused on that. I was just nervous and scared and freaking out and whatever. But then I got really excited, and I started practicing, I guess, a couple days leading up, and I was just having so much fun. I wasn't criticizing my transitions. I wasn't like getting frustrated in the moment if I messed something up. I was just like, yeah. And I realized that all my thinking and all my rationalizing, intellectualizing everything got in the way. And so when I eliminated that energy, things were flowing a lot better, and my transitions were better, and I wasn't making like silly mistakes, and I wasn't thinking about it too much and all that stuff. So I guess we can go maybe like, I guess the day of the show. And well, that's when the energy started like toggling between like super excited and super scared. But I think that's just because like the moment was coming up. And so I took off that day. I just wanted to completely devote my energy that day to my show, and it was definitely a good idea. Got some good family time in. That was really nice to just be with my family and get ready. And I get to the show like an hour and a half before to make sure everything like gets set up and stuff. And all my friends started getting there, got really excited, and he's like, okay, well, you can press play. So my hands got really sweaty, and my first like transition was like not as good as I practiced, but I mean, it was still okay. But then I just seeing all my friends in the crowd and cheering me on, and I just like completely went into this like blissful state. And I just channeled the energy that I had when I was practicing, and things were really good, and I was just really focused, and I was trying to be really present, and it was so awesome. And I couldn't believe that I had set this goal, and I was like right there living it. And I'm just so proud of myself. And going back to that moment that I was standing in the crowd, I guess like a year before, I was like, okay, well, what specifically are you trying to achieve? Like, is it to be like famous? Is it just to challenge yourself? What is it? And I realized that the liberating energy that I had gotten from dancing to that music, what would that energy feel like if you were the one playing it? And I just kind of pictured myself just like having so much fun. And so the whole goal was to reward myself, I guess, with like taking the steps to create that energy for myself, this complete blissful, just like childlike energy. And fast back forward to like being in that moment and like, holy shit, I just am still so proud that I just put all the bullshit aside and actually gave myself something that I wanted and deserved. And it's just cool. It's like I never realized this would be part of my path or my journey or anything, but I'm just learning to enjoy the ride, and here we are, dude. So, I'm still just like at a loss for words, but I'm just so in a state of bliss and gratitude and still disbelief, but it's just so cool being surrounded by the people that you care about and that care about you, and everybody just having so much fun. And I realized that, like, that's the point of life, dude. We're not here for very long, as we've talked about. And there's so much stress and anxiety-inducing things in this world. And why not just enjoy every moment? Why not just like make life of a party and have fun with your loved ones and dance and express yourself? And I'm just like really stoked that that's a thing. I feel like maybe it's part of my purpose. I know I want to pursue this journey of healing for myself and others, but I had no idea that music might be a way to do that. So, yeah, here we are now, post-show. I think this will be really good for my self-sabotage because, I mean, it's kind of just like, what's the point? We've talked about wanting to protect ourselves and stuff, but I mean, thinking about this situation, what was I protecting myself from? Like, there's nothing that was like keeping me in danger, but I think what was in danger was my ego. Like, it knew that after this moment, things weren't going to be the same. And it knew that you can't like self-sabotage and keep doing this, you know? And so I think that's like a part of me, losing a part of me that was once a huge part, but now it doesn't serve me any purpose. And I feel like this shift in energy will only get better. And I'm grateful that I was looking out for myself and stuff like that, but also it's 2020. We're moving forward. We're getting shit done. So yeah, that's really all I know what to say right now. But I just really wanted to share it with you guys because it's just, anxiety's weird and life is weird, and looking back in retrospect, I'm like, what the heck was I freaking out about? But dude, you can do anything you want. This is proof that you can create your reality. If I can do this after years and years and years of self-sabotage, you can literally do whatever you want. I'm going to keep getting what I want, and I'm going to keep manifesting my reality, and we're going to speak our truths, and we're going to follow our dreams, and we're going to love with our big old hearts, and it's going to get even more awesome from here on out. So I'm going to wrap up this episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting me on my journey. If you were there on Saturday, thank you so much. I had so much fun, and I hope you did too. So after this episode, next week, we're going to get back on the track, which, I mean, it's not like there was like a prescribed schedule to follow anyway, so it's all good. But yes, next week, we're going to talk about loving your whole self, the good and the bad parts, and kind of my journey with accepting that. I'll probably go over a little bit of my blog post that I really just kind of hammered out all these issues with, and it's going to be really exciting. So I hope everybody has a really good new year. It's going to be awesome. We're going to really create the reality that we want. Yeah. This is Madeline with Embrace the Madness. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode of Embrace the Madness. Don't forget to subscribe so you can learn to live your best life.